and you may be watching there in Marion, down at Marion Military, and this storm is going to clip across Perry County, move on up toward Bibb County. Bibb County, again, not included, nor is Tuscaloosa or the northern parts really of Hale County for that matter, or back here into Greensboro. But these storms will be moving on toward I-65, so if you can postpone travel, or if you are planning travel, just be aware this rain is going to really limit your visibility, in addition to the inbound and outbound velocities, which are showing that this may be producing a tornado right now down in Marengo County. We don't have any confirmation of a confirmed tornado, but we're continuing to monitor this situation. But the rotation in that parent storm has prompted the National Weather Service to have enough concern to go ahead and issue the tornado warning, and that goes until 12 noon. Now, again, Greensboro, southern parts of Hale County, south of Moundville really, on into Perry County, and then on up to the Bibb and Hale County lines, as well as right here along the Perry and Bibb County lines. So if you are in Centerville, Brent, if you're in Greensboro, in any of these areas, you should go ahead now and take your precautions. And it looks as if the National Weather Service is showing we're showing two areas of potential rotation in the storm. Of course, so this is southern parts of Greene County, and it's moving right along the river there, and will move, it looks like south of Forkland. But if you can postpone travel, if you're not aware just yet, you should know that travel anywhere in West Alabama really is going to be hazardous because of the heavy rain. Also, remember, lightning can strike 10 miles from the parent storm, so we kind of focus in on this area of the center of rotation of this storm, but really it's producing a lot of lightning. You saw that on our lightning tracker a few moments ago, and that is a very real danger. You see the lightning actually increasing. And some of the data suggests that when lightning suddenly increases, that is when we often see a tornado touchdown. So you can see a lot of lightning associated with this storm as it moves on up toward New Bern, over here into Hale County, and on eventually up, if it does hold together, into Bibb County. But officially, the tornado warning goes until 12 noon, and that does include Hale County. Now, we'll back it out just a bit, because I know a lot of folks are saying, well, is it coming to my area? The areas east of I-65 not included in the tornado watch yet, but the tornado watch is in effect until 5 o'clock, and we are of course up and down here showing you large areas, a large shield of rain, just the beginning of what we believe will be a two-pronged severe weather outbreak over the next several hours. The potential is also there for flash flooding, of course dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning, and large hail associated with these storms. Wes Wyatt is joining us now here in the Weather Center. Wes, I know you're tracking the storm as well. It looks like there's some definite rotation showing up on radar there.
As you pointed out, Fred, actually two areas of rotation the National Weather Service monitoring here. They captured both of them. Polygon. As Fred noted, if you're in Bibb County, if this does hold together, things kind of evolving quickly, especially in these areas back off to the south. This is now crossing the tornado, the first circulation right here to the east of Demopolis along Highway 80. That is moving into the Gallion community, giving you that first alert. If you're in Gallion, that tornado is approaching you. And also, we have a circulation that's outside of Greensboro here, moving north. That's just south of Sawyerville. It's here around Lock 5, and that's moving to the northeast. If we follow the track, this will be moving into areas close to Lake Payne, perhaps maybe moving over towards Mertz and Pondville. So that's where this is going. What are we tracking at the moment? Again, two circulations. That tornado warning set to go through noon today. So the warning's been issued. That first 60 seconds always critical when these warnings are issued. Take action immediately. Get to that interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Stay away from windows. Don't try to outrun this. this. At this point, you need to stay put. If you are in a mobile home, it's best to be outside of that mobile home, a ditch. Try to avoid being inside that mobile home. A lot of times we see a lot of the safety that suggests it's better to be outside. I know it's hard to say, but you certainly don't want to be in a mobile home with a tornado warning like this, and also not in a vehicle at a time like this. And this right now, we're probably looking at, we may have a tornado east of Demopolis. The way this is moving, of seeing that circulation that really flared up kind of quickly there for areas to the south. It's certainly very unstable, very warm for this time of the year, so that could sustain this storm as it moves off to the northeast. Let's go back over to the reflectivity and just take another look at this. And you can see a lot of rain in here. So when you go into the storm and you start to break down some of the different properties, you can pick out where we have those couple of areas of circulation. And the first alert times on this, let's give you some times of arrival. You can see the Sunshine area around 11:49. Fred mentioned Newbern. There's Newbern, a first alert 11:52 for that time of arrival. Greensboro 11:55. This is a very broad tornado warning polygon. This includes basically the southern half of Hale County, and it includes the northern part. You're looking at Perry County here. Marion, we are included in that warning, as well as areas along Highway 5 to Heiberger. Harrisburg is not in the warning, but you do need to stay alert here just in case that expands. Let's follow along with some of the forecast radar data, and this is our future scan, and we can kind of extrapolate where this will be over the next 60 minutes. And you can see that 60-minute advantage, that storm right around Prairieville, Cedarville area, and Newbern, and then tracking north. That's going to take this across Highway 14, looks like between Greensboro and Kerbville. Again, there's a couple of areas of circulation in here. This is a severe storm, bottom line on that, which means there could be some winds over 58 miles per hour with this. So straight line winds also a concern, and quite a bit of lightning with this storm as well. So the concern for large hail and intense lightning, cloud to ground lightning, we're seeing that, and that's often a sign too when you have a storm that's producing a tornado. You see that lightning frequency really start to ramp up. By 12:33, if this does hold together, this forecast data takes this storm and puts it in the Centerville. You see right there, 12:33, this is it. It would have that storm if it does hold together. So Centerville, just giving you an early first alert here. By 12:30, if this does hold together, that storm is moving in our direction here into Bibb County. So we're going to be watching that area closely there as this moves to the northeast. The National Weather Service, they are noting they're continuing this tornado warning for Hale, Perry, Marengo counties till 12 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 7 miles southeast of Demopolis, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So this is moving fairly quickly there off to the northeast. As meteorologist Fred Hunter was noting, you can actually see to the south here for folks watching us on digital platforms out of Marengo County. This storm is also concerning. We don't see a warning on this, but we do have a shear marker. Linden, north to Fonsdale, and need to watch this storm here as well. This one looks quite intense. It's moving into the south, and this is that area to the south where we did see what's happening here. These storms likely are just feeding off of that influx of moisture from the south, and that's why these storms are starting to rapidly intensify. We mentioned 11 o'clock start time, so this is lining up right on time there, 11 a.m., that risk starting to ramp up. We're looking at the southwest part of the area. If you're watching from other parts of the state, we do have some heavy rain, some strong storms to the north. And Fred, I'll let you jump in here because I know you were watching some of these storms that were moving in from the northwest. There was a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like that has expired for Marion County at this time.
Wes. See, we got it back here. Yes. There we go. You mentioned, Wes, that we're looking at these the potential for these storms moving into Bibb County. So this is a live look at our Centerville camera there. If you're watching us in Centerville, you're getting a southwesterly wind flow. This is just pumping this moisture in, and of course that's the direction from southwest to northeast. That particular cell, which originated down in Marengo County. So if you're watching us in the Jefferson community, Linden, Demopolis, it seems to be moving away from you. If you're watching us in southern parts of Hale County, in Greensboro, It is going just south of you. It looks to be moving basically, as Wes showed you on the future scan a moment ago, it looks as if the center of circulation would move, say, between Marion and Perry County and up to the north in Hale County. So between Greensboro and Marion in Hale County and Perry County, you should be weather aware. And as Wes showed you the forecast track, if you're in Centerville, if you're in Brent, of course, we all remember the tragic tornado in Brent many years ago, but that is still fresh in the minds of a lot of people. So if you're watching there, if you're watching us down in Bibb County, go ahead and make your preparations. Go ahead now and seek safe shelter until after this storm has passed. It is moving fairly rapidly at about 40 miles per hour. So let's see, we'll check on other locations. Of course, we're getting heavy rain now. We're looking in West Alabama primarily. I know folks may be watching east of I-65. You're not included in the tornado watch yet, but we are seeing those storms. I've got a live shot here. Well, I'll go back to that in a moment, but let's update you here on this particular storm, the storm which is moving out of Marengo County now, moving into southern parts of Hale County. So if you're in southern Hale County from Greensboro south down to New Bern, of course, a lot of Auburn students go to New Bern every year. That's where their rural studio is located, and so those students may not be back yet at the studio, but some of the Auburn folks live there year-round. So if you're watching us down in New Bern and Hale County, go ahead and I know you have some sturdy structures there where you can take shelter, so take shelter now. The storm still appears, and this has been the case over about the past 10-15 minutes, to the center of the storm, that is, still appears to be passing between Greensboro here in Hale County and Marion, where of course Marion Military is located in Perry County. And I also know we have some viewers there in Perry County which watch, but you shouldn't discount this storm, because lightning again has been very prevalent with this particular storm, and lightning can strike 10 miles away from the parent storm. So a lot of lightning associated with this. Here's a timeline moving it on toward New Bern over about the next 10 minutes, and eventually this tornado may move on into Bibb County. The future track that Wes showed you just a moment ago does take the storm into Bibb County. Will the storm maintain its intensity and its rotation? That is yet to be seen. So go ahead now and seek shelter. If you are planning travel, especially in West Alabama, you should definitely postpone that travel, and go ahead now and review your tornado plans if you're especially in Bibb County or of course southern Hale County. We haven't really hit on that since the warning was issued, and the warning, by the way, goes until 12 noon. If you are in a sturdy structure, you should seek safe shelter on the lowest floor. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible if you have a basement, but avoid the exterior walls, because sometimes with a strong tornado these can collapse. Also avoid being under heavy furniture, which can fall as well. So go ahead and go over in your mind what you're going to do. Be sure you have your WBRC Fox 6 First Alert weather app charged. You may lose electricity. There are strong winds associated with this, as well as heavy rain. So even though we show you kind of a point on the map, that does not mean that's the only place where there are safety concerns. So if you're in Hale County, if you're watching down in Perry County or on up into Bibb County, you should go ahead now and seek safe shelter and go over your plans, know where your family is, and know what they should know what to do in the event that this storm moves in your direction. It has held together, and the track has been fairly consistent. You also Matt's showing you the number of lightning strikes, which really have come up, and Wes touched on this a moment ago. A lot of times just before an actual tornadic touchdown, the number of lightning strikes will increase. So if you're down in New Bern, small community there south of Greensboro, be sure you know a safe place to be over the next 5 minutes or so. And these storms move very rapidly. From personal experience, I can tell you, when we say you have seconds or minutes to prepare, that is exactly what we mean. And when I say that, you take a look at this. This storm is moving, and this has been consistent as well. It's been moving about 40 to 45 miles per hour. We also noted a moment ago, Wes did, that this is a rather large storm. So don't just focus on the area which may have the tornadic circulation right here below Sunshine. In fact, it is producing a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rainfall as well as some hail. So if your vehicle is outside, you might want to consider now going ahead and move your vehicle inside to the garage or your carport area to avoid hail damage there. And it is likely some large hail, and that is the main threat. So if you're in New Bern, if you're in Greensboro, this storm is going to be moving in your direction over about the next 5 to 10 minutes. The tornado warning, if you're just now joining us, and I know I'm resetting here, but the tornado warning was initially issued for a storm which the National Weather Service felt as if did contain circulation south of Demopolis. The track of the storm has been consistent, taking it between Greensboro and Marion. So in Hale County and Perry County, everyone should be aware. The forward track of the storm, 40 to 45 miles per hour, that has been consistent. But there also have been, as Wes noted a moment ago, multiple areas of circulation which have showed up. So if you feel those strong wind gusts and the heavy rain and then hail is associated with this storm, that is the time when the tornado is, a lot of times the wind will practically go calm just before a tornado touchdown. So you see the inflow and outflow boundaries, that indicates rotation. That is the reason we have the tornado warning, and the tornado warning goes until 12 noon, and that does include southern parts of Hale County. Now, if you're watching in Moundville, you're getting heavy rain there, some heavy rain on up toward Tuscaloosa County, back into Pickens County, Greene County. Of course, Kelvin Reynolds was reporting there on the preparations, since they have been affected by not one but a couple of tornadoes over the past few months and extending on up. I know folks that may be watching up in Winston County, our friends in Marion County and Walker County, Fayette County, you're getting heavy rain. So far, the heavier storms have not extended into Jefferson County. And areas to the south, of course, this is the area where the winds have been consistently stronger during the morning hours, and that has just brought this moist, unstable air in. And with an atmosphere like this, you get just a little bit of circulation. There's a lot of energy. Matt was talking about that earlier this morning, how much energy is associated with this particular system. So it is a very real threat. You should take precautions immediately. We're looking at rainfall rates maybe on the order of an inch an hour, so that's heavy rain coming down. Now the flash flood watch is not included for West Alabama. That goes if you're watching in Chilton County, over toward Coosa County and Rockford, or even over toward Tallapoosa County. You are under a flash flood watch. In about 15 minutes, that flood watch goes into effect at noon, and that goes until noon tomorrow. So what we're looking at here is an ongoing weather event, not only this afternoon through the evening hours. The tornado watch, by the way, for West Alabama goes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. I have no doubt other areas will be included in the watch box before this weather event is all said and done. The cold front is well back to the west, so that secondary line is the one that may be capable. What we'll see here over the next several hours is these storms tracking one on top of the other, a training effect, we call it. That's where the flooding concerns will be. So if you live in areas, I know a lot of times we have flood-prone areas along the lower Tombigbee, the lower Black Warrior River Basin. If you have agricultural interests there, you need to take precautions now, because we may have some flooding concerns. And once this first line of storms is passed, then a second line of storms just ahead of the cold front is likely to affect this area. Once again, if you're just joining us, we have a tornado warning. See this storm that was originated or was identified just south of Demopolis here in Marengo County, moving through the Jefferson community here. Again, we don't have any damage reports nor confirmation of a touchdown, but I suspect that there may be some heavy high winds as well as heavy rain and this hail along with the dangerous lightning. So if you're in Perry County, if you're in Greene County, the tornado warning goes until 12 noon. That's about another 15 minutes, and a tornado watch for this entire area. So if you're outside this area, certainly don't let your guard down, because all of West Alabama is under the tornado watch, and that tornado watch will go until 5 o'clock this afternoon. So Wes, it looks as if this storm, if nothing else, is being consistent. That's a live look at Tuscaloosa right now, where we're getting some heavy rain in that area.
Yeah, that's right, Fred, and we'll probably see this watch expanded later on today. As Fred noted, this is going to be a long day, a long duration event that kind of sets up here. We're going to be dealing with storms late tonight, and this won't be an ongoing steady warnings throughout the afternoon. We're likely going to see things kind of settle down, and then we'll probably have some more warnings that pop up at times into the afternoon and the evening. But as we look at the watches, we now have Jefferson, Shelby County, Chilton counties included, as well as you can see Blount County areas there. Further east will likely be included in a watch later on today, but the threat is there for tornadoes and damaging wind gusts. That's why we declared today a first alert weather day. But one of the reasons why, well, typically it's news time for us right now, but we're still with you, and we're on here in West Alabama for a tornado warning that is in effect across Hale County, and we're seeing that tornado still evident by the radar data right now around New Bern. And Fred noted the Auburn the rural studio there, that's just south of New Bern on Highway 61 here in southeastern Hale County. That is close to where that tornado is located right now, around the Auburn rural studio around New Bern, and that's crossing near the Sunshine area. So Sunshine, New Bern, and that's tracking northeast. That's going to put this very close to Heiberger. If you're watching in Heiberger, giving you that first alert for where this is moving. A lot of rain around this. This is going to be difficult to spot a tornado in this sort of environment with all this rain kind of wrapping in from the south. But to the south here, the ingredients certainly more favorable. But if you're between Centerville and Marion, that tornado is going to cross in here close to Highway 5. So giving you the first alert. We were checking out Centerville a few moments ago, and a lot of rain starting to fill in here across these southwestern areas. There was one circulation that was showing up here in Marengo County right there around Linden. We saw that kind of flare up for a few moments. It looks like that shear marker backed off, but I would still be on alert here anywhere from Fonsdale to Greensboro in case we do see an additional warning that may be issued. But now some of that rain moving in around Birmingham. Nothing severe in Birmingham at the moment, just a lot of rain. Tuscaloosa, we have some rain back to the west, to the south, but it's one of those days, any storm that comes along here between now and pretty much midnight tonight, any storm that pops up, it could go severe. We're talking damaging wind gusts and also that risk for isolated tornadoes. So this is a live look from Tuscaloosa, and you look out there, a lot of clouds, a lot of rain, but one thing you notice today, it is unseasonably warm, and that's the one thing that really stood out here. You've got the instability, you have the wind shear, you go down the checklist, you have all those ingredients in place. That's why we made it a first alert weather day. Notice out there at the Veterans Memorial there, right there across from the University Mall, you can see the flag. The winds have really picked up out of the south direction there. Those winds are quite gusty. This is right there at McFarland Boulevard, actually close to Midtown, and we're looking back towards the south direction. But we've got eyes in the sky over Tuscaloosa. We got you covered there. We have teams spread out across the state to keep you well informed as we monitor this weather setup through the remainder of the morning. Okay, so the warning has been canceled. So meteorologist Matt Daniel just notifying me that the Weather Service, they have allowed that warning to expire. Matt, we'll check it out one more time. Hate to jump off and then all of a sudden we see another warning reissued, but just looking at the circulation, you can still see some broad rotation there around New Bern. But we are looking, well, we're looking a little bit higher into the storm because we're far from the radar site, which is back at the Shelby County Airport. But you can clearly see some inbound, outbound winds there, winds moving away towards the radar, and that's where that storm, there's some rotation with these things today. And again, that's crossing right there around Highway 61, but the tornado warning has expired for folks here. I know we've been talking about New Bern and their Sunshine area I was talking about, but that warning allowed to expire. Still a strong storm. You're probably going to get some gusty winds in here. Lightning's probably popping as well. Look at Greensboro. Probably have some small hail falling right around the Rosemary area. So anywhere here along Highway 61, There you go, right there. You can see our system detecting where we have some hailstones falling. Let's follow the path on this as well, Matt. You can see there half-inch size hailstones. Looking at the forecast times on this, looks like let's see, 11:50 right now. I would go out and say close to lunchtime. We'll probably see this around Kerbville and then the Heiberger area. Kerbville and Heiberger, be ready for the possibility of some small hail, some gusty winds with this particular storm that's moving to the north, but now it's fallen below the severe level. Okay, so it's no longer a severe thunderstorm at this time, but it is a strong storm. This is going to cross as Highway 14 between Marion and Greensboro. If you're in Centerville, let's keep a watch on this. There's a tornado watch in effect for a good portion of our area until 5 o'clock. We'll likely see that watch expanded into the afternoon, but it's going to be a day like this. You can see the radar. It's kind of a messy setup. It's not a slam dunk or clear-cut severe weather scenario. Many times we see these storms, they race through, and if you try to time something like this out, it's very difficult to do because we're going to see multiple waves of rain and storms, and at times through this afternoon and tonight, these storms in here are going to try to flare up, intensify, so be on alert through the afternoon and tonight. A warning could pop up at any time. It's kind of like almost like a tropical feeling kind of environment out there this afternoon and evening. So we're, especially to the south, that's where those tornado ingredients right now are starting to set up here. So pay close attention, Bibb County back towards Chilton County in case we do see an additional warning. We have some heavy rain that's falling to the north. These storms also have fallen below severe levels that are moving into northwest areas. You can see northern Tuscaloosa County, some heavy rain about to move in. This is impacting Pickens County, and this is one thing we'll have to watch out for. I know both Matt and Fred noted these storms that start to train, things could really go downhill in a hurry with respect to flooding and the flooding issues across parts of the area. So we'll need to pay close attention to that as well as these storms line up. A slow moving system. It's taking this system all day yesterday, pretty much all night last night, just to make it across the Mississippi River and close in on Alabama. But just keep in mind with the tornado watch today, I always say practice the 60-second rule. If a warning is issued and you can't get to a sturdy shelter, if you're in a mobile home, you want to make sure you're within 60 seconds of taking shelter. Over 60% of fatalities when it comes to tornadoes happen within the first 60 seconds of within that first couple of minutes there of a warning. So you want to make sure you take immediate action if you do have a warning that is issued out there today. So that's what we're watching at the moment. Want to head back over to meteorologist Fred Hunter. Fred, we're here watching this closely. Looks like it is going to be a long day and evening, and hopefully we won't see any warnings, but this watch is going to be with us at least through 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Wes, I was just going to go over.
Welcome back in.